I think there's a clear risk that US Treasury yields continue to head higher. I think you've got a number of factors in play at the moment. You've got the Trump tariffs, which potentially are going to be coming through. So that's going to be putting inflationary pressures on the board. You've already got a budget deficit which is running north of 6% of GDP. So that there's some certain pressures coming from there as well. And if you have a look at financial conditions, they traditionally lead changes in inflation by roughly around 6 months. So I think the trajectory for US interest rates is probably higher on bond yields. And if that's the case, then I think the US dollar has got some further steam ahead, which means that you've already started to see a number of currencies within the Asian region come under a significant amount of pressure. You've seen the Kiwi dollar, the Aussie dollar. Obviously, you've already had Korean officials also talk about trying to provide a bit more stability for their currency. So I think you'll probably see some further weakness on the Korean won. But yeah, I think a lot of focus will be on CNY and CNH, and I think the risk is that officials are going to have to deliver more easing on that front, whether it comes from RRR cuts, LPR cuts, and there's going to have to be more fiscal as well. And I think quite easily you can see CNY trading north of 740, 750 over the next 6 months.
Speaking of going north, David, you said 8.5 in 12 months. What do you think of that?
No, I was going to say, I'm just a strategist. I'm not a scientific person like you. So just ignore what I said, but tell us where it's going to go all the same.
Oh, we're running it as our top headline, David. What are you saying? That's a big call. We can't just let it go.
No, I'm not letting it go. I'm sticking to it, but I'm saying my approach. I mean, after all, that's about
No, I understand your rationale.
Decline. It's okay. I stick to it. No problem. And I think the euro will be below parity. But tell us about Asia. I mean, I'm just a strategist.
Yeah, so I mean, once again, I think the view is that Asia will come under a significant amount of pressure as the US dollar continues to strengthen. And yeah, I think the main areas, we've already talked about most of the areas within Asia. I think you are going to see some trouble going ahead, and markets are already starting to price that in. So I think we will see weaker currencies going ahead. But yeah, I think 850, it's a very bold call. It's clearly possible, but it's not in our forecast at the moment.